Hello, hello. Hi, everybody. Hi, I'm so excited to be here live today. I'm Jill Rosenkrantz, and I wanted to bring to you today a conversation I'm having with Alan Newell, who is the resident expert on zeolites. He's from Touchstone. He's going to help us today with not only understanding the importance of zeolite and the incredible things that it can do for our health, but he's going to share with us his story about a situation that he found himself in and how zeolites were able to help him along the way.
Yeah.
Everybody can welcome Alan.
Hey, Jill, how are you?
I'm good, thanks. How are you?
Doing wonderful. Thanks for having me on. I really appreciate it.
Thank you for being here.
Yeah.
I really appreciate it.
Always excited to share good information.
Yes, we've had some wonderful conversations lately, and I'm really grateful that you are willing to come on here with me and share it with everybody else, because I hate to keep all the secrets for myself.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Once you understand and once you know how you can really change people's lives for the better, you just feel guilty not sharing.
Absolutely. And similar to you in the story that you're going to tell today, my family has been touched by zeolites, PDX, and Pure Body as well. It changed my family's health for the better.
Mm-hmm.
I will always be grateful for finding this product.
So, you know, when we talk about zeolite, I mean, the key is that what a lot of people don't understand is that we literally live in a toxic world in today's society. You know, it's crazy. There's all kinds of information out there, but one of the statistics that really blows me away, that just kind of sticks out to me, and my mother is 86 years old, and she was in the medical profession her whole life, and most of my family is from the medical profession, and so, but I say 86 years old because it's easy for me to remember this statistic that 86 years ago, here in the United States, 1 in 3,000 plus people got cancer.
Mm-hmm.
1 in 3,000. And last year it was 1 in 2.4.
I believe that.
Well, you know, and it's still not the number one killer. Heart disease is still the number one killer, right, due to inflammation and the processed foods, and the obesity rate is growing at a dramatic rate. So when you look at all these things, you know, you've got to say to yourself, well, I mean, what's going on? You know, what's going on? And so a lot of it has to do with the toxins that we're living with and living around that have changed so dramatically. Toxins in our food, genetically modified crops. And people talk about genetically modifying crops. Well, they genetically modify them so they survive being bombarded with herbicides and pesticides that they're spraying on them. Then there's the processed food with all the, you know, the ingredients in there and the preservatives that they put in there. And you know, it's not really food. When you learn to read labels and understand what you're putting in your body, you realize that we're consuming toxins every day. We're breathing toxins every day. You know, I heard a great story that was told yesterday that said, we all want the advances of technology. We all love the fact that the seats in our car, the material, the couch that we're now sitting on, they learned that, hey, we're going to put flame retardants on that couch so that if your house catches on fire, they go up like a dried out Christmas tree. Well, that's all good and great. And so the technology changes have been powerful, but at the same time, we have to learn to live with those and enjoy them, and at the same time learn how we can live with them and protect ourselves. And that's one of the beautiful things about zeolite, you know, that I love, is zeolite's been around for thousands of years.
The ancient mineral.
The ancient mineral. And you know, back in the Roman days, they used it to purify water.
Yes.
And kind of by accident, because they were using this clay substance, this form of clay that contains zeolites that occurs when the volcanic ash and the lava meets salt water. And they were using it as dams. And then as the water would filter through it, they figured out, well, but the water became pure and clear, clean. And so it kind of does the same thing in your body. So anyway, it's an amazing product that you can talk to me about it for days and I can still, you know, but the key is that, as we talked about, just my story that we were talking about is I lived in just north of Charlotte in Mooresville, North Carolina on Lake Norman, and had an old lake house. And I used to joke with people all the time and say, because my house sat on a big lot, big for Lake Norman, 1.3 acre lot, and huge, 285 foot of waterfront. And it was just a beautiful, beautiful property there. And it had a little lake house that was built in 1970. And I used to joke with people and say, yeah, I bought this lot and they gave me that house. And so, but the house, the design in the 70s was built on a slab. It's your classic lake house, just concrete slab, 3 bedrooms in the back, bathroom, big, great room on the front with the kitchen and the fireplace and the living area all together. And then a big screened in porch across the lakeside to look at the lake.
Right.
So loved it there. Lived there for 15 years and just absolutely loved it. Enjoyed living on the lake. But the lot sloped down to the house and then went down to the lake. And so we used to have flooding. And so when you've got a slab and it floods, I mean, there's nowhere for the water to go besides in the walls and things like that. And so we had a couple of floods, and I had the house remodeled, and then we had another one, and we thought it came from the air conditioner. Well, what that was is that it kind of exposed when they came in and remodeled the house the first time. They did not treat the framing as they were supposed to. So they took paneling down, and in some cases didn't take the paneling down and covered it up with sheetrock. So what's going on behind that we didn't know was there was mold growing back there.
Right.
And so it's interesting how I had allergies when I lived. My brother's had allergies his whole life. I've never been allergic to anything, but I thought that I had allergies living there. I used to get, sinus headaches. I used to get, watery eyes. I would just feel out of energy. I just, just didn't feel good. And somebody said, well, you moved here from somewhere else and it's the local area and you've got to take local honey, which I did. And, but never could totally get rid of it. And so we had a leakage in the guest bedroom from an air conditioning unit. And so my wife went in and I was out of town traveling. And started, the sheetrock got wet. And so she was saying, yeah, it's bad in this room. The sheetrock is wet and coming off the wall. We're going to have this repaired. And I said, great, call the insurance company. And so as she's taking this sheetrock off, she's exposing and finding black mold.
Right.
That was back there. So once you expose it, it's to the, where it's not in behind the walls, it really becomes bad. I had issues before, but when I got home, and insurance companies don't like to deal with stuff like that for lots of different reasons.
Right.
So we were battling about we were back and forth with the insurance company about what they wanted to do, how much repair they wanted to do, because then I'm start taking the sheetrock down and I'm work my way through that room into the living room. I'm still finding black mold. I find it around the fireplace. I find it over by the bathroom. I'm like, this house is infested in black mold. So I'm finding it by removing the sheetrock and the paneling. Jill, it got to the point where we were so sick, and I was so sick from this black mold that I couldn't sleep at night. I've never had a migraine in my life until then. I was having migraines. My energy was zapped. Had this strange taste in my mouth, so I lost my appetite. I was losing weight. I even started losing some hair, and I thought, that's weird, because I do have hair. I have it cut short. and so one night, and so the insurance company finally said, well, this is what we're going to do. We're going to do this date and blah, blah, blah. And they said, but one night it got so bad that I said, we have got to get out of this house. We've got to get out of this house. I'm so sick. And so we went and stayed at a hotel for a week, and then rented a place to stay. And within a few days, I felt better, but I had mold toxicity. And so, I'm like going to the doctor and saying, what it is and black mold. And I had taken pictures and I was showing them. And so they recommended, that you do this diet, you take this. Well, then, so I looked at the Pure Body Extra Zeolite.
Right.
And so the zeolite product, the Pure Body Extra, is a nano-sized zeolite. So the molecules, 9 nanometers or smaller, are small enough to penetrate the body at the cellular level, which is where the mold toxicity attacks your body, which is where you're getting these headaches. I had skin rashes. I was breaking out on my arms, my clothes. So what I did is the clothes that I took, didn't take all my clothes. All the furniture in there went to the dump, everything. Okay. But I cleaned with borax, was it 50 mule team?
Right.
To wash the clothes with, away from there at a laundromat, and really just took the essentials and left everything else behind and started using the Pure Body Extra Zeolite. Now I was using it 5 to 6 times a day because zeolite goes through your system in about 4 hours, 4 to 5 hours. Okay. Right. And so I knew that, okay, so it's going through my body, it's removing the toxins, it's removing the mold, it's removing the heavy metals. And so then 4 or 5 hours later, it's gone. So I'm doing it. So I'm constantly want to do that. There's actually a clinic in Florida that treats mold toxicity with people. And what they do is they literally move you in. They say, okay, leave everything. And when you come in, they don't know, they'll take your clothes that you brought with you and they wash them in borax, the 50 mule team. And so they give you an outfit to wear while they're cleaning your clothes. And once they get your clothes clean and they give them back to you, but you literally stay there and you eat only what they give you. You drink only what they give you, and they use zeolite to remove it from the body. So it took me probably, I would say, about 5 to 6 weeks before I really felt like my old self again. But again, I was using the Pure Body Extra, every 4 hours. Right. Every 4 hours. Yep. Taking this, and I knew that it was going to help me. So met a lady, and she was like, I'm going through the same thing. I've got the same problem. She lived like Norman. And so I'm like, well, here, you got to try this. And here's what we're going to do. And she had actually sold her car. She said, my car had cloth sheet material. I went and traded my car in, got rid of it because mold gets captured in your clothing, gets captured in your hair. I mean, you're basically, it's like spreading it around. But it took me a good 6 months to completely rid my body to where I went and got tested and tested negative on mold toxicity. But within 6 to 7 weeks, I felt much better. I gained weight again. My hair stopped falling out. My rashes were gone. And I was actually using it topically on my arms too. Right. So the girl that I met there, who I talked to, same results. She loved it. She said, it's amazing how much better I feel. She was actually had been to a clinic where they checked her in for a week, and then she went home for a week, and she said, I can't cover it. And I just can't afford it. And so she started using our zeolite on a daily basis too. And same thing. Within 2 months, she was, cleared up, doing much better. Had a good friend of mine who actually went to the clinic in Florida. And then I realized she was there when I saw her posting on social media that she was there. And I said, well, let me send you some product. Let me ship you some product. And she was like, I'd be happy to take it. So the product does amazing things. That's my testimonial with the mold issues. But it's just surprising. And again, I tell people all the time, do your research because, there's so much more when you look at what's going on when you're that's going on in our world with the air pollution that's out there. There's toxins that damage your lungs. There's just lots of different things right now that affect us in the environment, and you want to be able to build your immune system. And the way I describe that is when you have heavy metals and toxins in your body, you have what's called an immune system. Everybody has an immune system. Okay. And so my layman's term for describing it, I guess, so that I understand it better than everybody else understands, that's your army. Everybody has an army inside of them that goes and attacks the bad guys, attacks the toxins, attacks the cold, the flu, the viruses that you get, pneumonia, whether you get, when you get sick, the germs that come into your body. That's what it does to keep you well. It attacks them. And so you always want a strong immune system. So if you've got your army, and let's just say that you got an army of 1,000, that's your immune system. It's 1,000 militants or whatever. And when you consume toxins in your body, whether they land in your liver, whether they're in your lungs, whether they're in your cellular level, and a lot of toxins hide in the cells. So if, people that are struggling losing weight, a lot of times it's because of toxicity, and they don't even realize they're having allergy problems that they think are allergy problems. And then it's literally, they have toxins in their bodies and heavy metals.
Same with asthma. Asthma is a big one, right?
Asthma is a huge one. And so when they start removing those, but what happens is let's just say that your body sends 400 of your militants out to attack these heavy metals and toxins, that only leaves 600 left to battle the other things. So when you can remove those, it strengthens your immune system because they all come back together and they're not out having to deal with these heavy metals and toxins in the body. And they can come from anywhere. I tell people all the time, how often do you change the air conditioner filter in your home?
Right.
And when you're supposed to do it once a month, the average person does it, I think, 2.5 months. And, so I say, what's in that filter? How dirty is it? And they go, oh my gosh, it's filthy. I go, yeah, think about that. You look around the house, you don't see that stuff floating in the air.
Exactly.
And we're literally breathing it in. And the only time that it goes to that air conditioner filter is when your unit is running, And so the other times they're just floating around. And so we're consuming them through the air we breathe, through in our lungs, and lots of different situations. So it's really tough too, a lot of times when people, it's a major difference in how much it can affect your body, what it can do for your body, what the benefits are. We're born with toxins in our body. Even small amounts of toxins can store in the fat cells of your body, making it hard to lose weight. They can mess with your memory, with your clarity, with your focus. If you look at Alzheimer's and dementia, it's one of those things like we were talking about with the cancer. It's at a growing rate.
Right.
It disrupts your endocrine system, affecting your energy. It makes it hard for people to fall asleep and causes poor sleep quality, messes with, it's just so much that it does with our body that you want to get rid of. Makes you age faster. It's just crazy. But anyway, I think I've talked enough. Maybe we can answer any questions you have. But that's my story, and that's kind of a little bit about where we're going with that.
Okay. I would say that I think there's a lot of illness and disease out there that is, I don't want to say misdiagnosed because that's not right, but it's a buildup of toxins, and then it leads to your immune system attacking itself. Autoimmunes are based in heavy metals and toxicity. So to consider, if you're facing any kind of illness or disease, maybe take a look at what toxicity is built up in your body, and how if you remove those, can your body stop fighting itself, and maybe the autoimmune starts to decrease.
That's a very good point. And there are over 300 studies on PubMed. You can go to pubmed.org. 300 studies that have been done on the Pure Body Extra and the Pure Body Zeolite, Natural Liquid Zeolite. And so for people that have concerns or questions about zeolite, I always say, hey, go do your research. Check it out. You're going to see what a difference that makes and how it can help your body by building your immune system. Because a healthy immune system is just the essence of health, the essence of removing and keeping your body healthy.
Right. So in addition to that, you would think that supporting your body, so removing toxins that you're exposed to every day, but also supporting your digestive tract and your nutrition would be important as well. So there are absolutely ways to go ahead and support your nutrition while you're detoxing. You need to support your body while you detox. You need the best of everything that you're putting in while you're taking out.
Well, one of the things that is true is that, getting the proper amount of water and making sure that you're getting, clean spring water, because the amount of that there's over 250 toxins in our community and city water system that they don't even regulate.
Wow.
They don't even regulate it. Right. And so when you're consuming tap water and people go to the water and they say, oh, I buy bottled water at the store and it's purified water. Well, basically it's filtered water.
Right.
And
Right.
very few of the toxins are removed from that, and the heavy metals. And my mother lived out in the country in Virginia. And so I went to her house and I turned on her sink, and she had well water, because people go, "Oh, it's well water, it's healthy." And I was like, "Oh my gosh, Mom, this water smells horrible." She goes, "It does?" See, she lived with it every day.
Right.
She didn't know. So you're right. I mean, it's really important as you're detoxing to help your body by drinking plenty of pure spring water. If you're buying it at the store, make sure that it's in a BPA-free plastic bottle.
Right.
Making sure that you get the proper nutrition in your body to replace because your detoxing removes the bad from your body. Okay. And so you've got to replace that with the good.
Right.
And so, prebiotics, probiotics, digestive enzymes, because you're talking about the gut system and the digestive tract system, the toxins and the heavy metals attack those in a way that it removes it from your system, and you get low on those prebiotics and probiotics. Antibiotics.
Yes.
When you say, "Oh, there's
how many of our kids have been antibiotic, every 6 weeks, another antibiotic, more ear infections, more antibiotics.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's a vicious cycle. It really
is. Yeah.
So it's important to consume the proper nutrition, and to make sure that you're getting plenty of fluids to flush out the toxins, and that you're getting the proper prebiotics, probiotics, digestive enzymes, organic fruits and vegetables, because it's amazing the difference. And when you look at what the, vegetables just changing to organic can do,
right.
Because as you're detoxing, you don't want to put more toxins in.
Right.
Yeah.
The wonderful thing about Pure Body MPBX is that it removes the glyphosate and herbicides, pesticides. It attracts all positively charged heavy metals and toxins, cages them and removes them safely from your body. A lot of people that I speak with are heavy metal toxic. And a lot of places that we can talk about, and some places that we don't talk about as much, but aluminum and mercury and lead, tin, copper toxicity is a large one. A lot behind asthma. I have a lot of people in my life that has asthma, and once you remove the heavy metals, that removes the inflammation, and then your lungs start to work a little bit better. So also, you can detox your liver, your kidneys, your lungs, your intestines. That's all so important, because those are your toxic filters in your body.
Absolutely. And one of the things, talking about aluminum, for example, when we talk about the toxins in the body and how we're consuming that, if you think about the rate of breast cancer, and people don't realize that men can get breast cancer too.
Right.
Okay. But what's ironic about women and that high rate of breast cancer is this is something that you don't see a lot about or hear a lot about, is that most women, I won't say all, but most women shave under their arms. So they shave under their arms and they open those pores, and then they put deodorant on. Okay. And so 95% of the deodorant made, the number one ingredient is aluminum.
Aluminum, right.
Well, aluminum has been proven clinically to cause cancer.
Right.
So let's think about this. So women shave under their arms and put aluminum deodorant under there, and women have a 3,000% higher rate of breast cancer than men. I wonder,
Right.
And so they're the things that make you go, well, that makes sense. And so, different sources of aluminums and heavy metals get in the body, in the food we eat, and the fluoride, and, the things that we don't even, what happens is when you said that we talk about, and we don't talk about, is that's the thing is, I have found that most people, when educated properly and given the proper information, and understand that, hey, we are an advocate for better health.
Right.
And so it's impossible, unless you want to be the bubble boy in this world. And I'm sure that you're still going to be consuming and eating some toxins, to live in this world, in this environment, and be toxin free. no matter how hard you work.
Right.
It's impossible. So we say, well, what's the solution that is backed by clinical trial to remove the heavy metals and toxins from the body through this amazing natural mineralite, Clinoptilolite zeolite. And so there's lots of other things out there, but nothing on the marketplace has been tested as much as zeolite. Nothing on the marketplace has been utilized as much as zeolite. One of, speaking of the zeolite, one of our, we ship zeolite to over 60 countries around the world. It is extremely popular in China and Japan. And people say, well, why is that? Well, when they had the Chernobyl accident, the nuclear power plant that melted and put all the radiation and toxins in the air and the water, the government cleaned that up using natural zeolite.
Wonderful.
And so it's a common, so people, think about that. People hear it over there. They're more they're more informed about the ability of zeolite to remove toxins. So for them, it's like, well, that just makes sense for me to use zeolite to remove the heavy metals and toxins from my body. Yep.
Right. And it's powerful. I mean, so I tried a lot of things in our house for heavy metal toxicity and removing toxins. And I did them all. We did Epsom salt baths, and we did sauna lamps, and that's wonderful. Those go hand in hand, and those are wonderful tools, but there is nothing like zeolite. There's nothing like PBX and Pure Body on the market. There's nothing safer. That was key for me when I was doing my research. I needed to see what's the safety factor. Is this tested, and it's so nice that you can go and look and find them so easily. I didn't have to ask anybody. It's all right there. 300 studies available to anybody that wants them. And that was so important, and it's so fast. So when you take an Epsom salt bath, yes, it detoxes a little bit, but nothing to the extent of what PBX and Pure Body can do.
Absolutely. And I mean, a lot of people don't realize, let's just talk a minute about heavy metals in the body. Where can you get that from? Well, drinking water, we talked about that. Okay. There's over 2,000 water systems in the United States that have been tested with high levels of toxic lead. Okay. Get this, processed fruit juices.
Right.
They've done tests on apple juice and grape juice to reveal that they have high levels of arsenic.
Right.
Much higher than the allowed amount. Here's a good one. See, I've got I've got grandchildren. I've got now 7 grandchildren. I've got one that's just a little over 2.5 months old. And baby food. There's one study that found over 95% of the samples that tested baby food had heavy metals.
Right.
There's companies that have now said, yes, there are, and trying to change that to create organic. So, babies are born with toxins in there. And the beautiful thing I like about zeolite is it's safe for all ages.
Right.
My 2.5-month-old uses zeolite every day. And so non-organic foods, many of the pesticides that are on conventional foods, we talked about that earlier, have been found to contain heavy metals. Get this, brown rice. I thought, well, I'm eating brown rice is better than white rice. Well, the outer shell of brown rice retains arsenic from the growing and the soil, and the arsenic that's in the soil from how they grow it and the herbicides and pesticides they spray on that. Large fish have mercury buildup in their bodies, such as swordfish and tuna. Well, I ate tuna last night, wild caught tuna at a restaurant I went to. Okay, and how do most people eat it? They eat it rare. Cheap spices, some turmeric brands, depending on where you're from and how you pronounce it, have been found to have high levels of lead. All of this stuff you want to make sure that you buy is organic. 2 of the ones that really blew me away were tea and coffee.
Oh, yeah.
There's a lot of teas that are non-organic that have lead and aluminum in it, as well as coffees have lead and aluminum in it. How many people drink coffee or tea every day?
Every day.
Every day.
Every day.
And I only buy organic coffee and tea.
Yes.
And then the big thing with people nowadays is the creamer they put in there.
Oh, yes.
And the thickeners that they use to take this sugar water and turn it into cream because it's not real cream.
Right.
Contain metals and toxins. So, you know, we came on talking about mold toxicity.
Right.
But this product is so much more. So much more.
It goes so deep.
It does. It does. We could spend days talking about the benefits and what it does. But I encourage people, if you're listening to this right now, to, you know, do your research and find somebody who can tell you the differences in products and go to PubMed if you need to, or you know, there's lots of information out there that'll help you. And I can just tell you that we've got thousands of testimonies all over the world from people who are using these products. My testimony, I can tell you about my sister. We didn't even get into that conversation. She moved into a house in North Carolina that had mold, and when she finally figured it out and moved out of the house and went to my mother's home in Virginia, my mother said when she opened the door, she said she looked so bad, Alan. I thought she had came to tell me that she was dying of cancer.
Oh my goodness.
You know, and so from allergies to asthma to skin rashes to weight gain to there's just so many people who are struggling with lots of different issues that literally is the heavy metals and toxin buildup, liver, kidneys, bowels, you know, cellular rashes, you know, that's basically a buildup of toxins and heavy metals in the body.
Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. So I do want to offer that if anybody is looking for information, that we are here. We can help out with studies and research. If you're wondering what PBX and Pure Body can do for you, we can go through a list of what toxins you might be exposed to and how this ancient mineral is wonderful and how it can remove all of these toxins from your body. We would love to get this into your hands. We'd love to get the research into your hands. Feel free to reach out, comment below. Yeah, we would. I just feel like I feel compelled. It's my passion, and I feel compelled that I need to get this out to everybody, as many people as I can, to educate them that we live in a toxic world, and there's a way around all of the toxins that you're exposed to.
Absolutely. Well, Jill, thanks for having me on.
Well, thank you so much, Alan. Thank you for being here with me. Thank you for talking with me. Thank you for all of your expertise, your testimony, your personal testimony. Thank you for everything that you have provided to me, because we've been talking recently, and I truly appreciate that. You've been such a godsend in my life, so I appreciate that. Thank you so much.
Absolutely.
Thank
Glad
you.
to know.
Thank you for being here.